when you want to move into the role of a financial advisor. It's actually a ton of certs that you also need to get as well when it comes to the SIE, the Series 66, and all of that. If you want to progress, because you're not you're gonna be even if you have the skills and you don't have the certs in this industry, you're going to be acting in a fraudulent manner, and that can land you in jail, right? I was watching, I think 22 Jump Street. He said, "Do you know what they do to keep guys like me in jail? It rhymes with great, right?" So you don't want to be in jail. You always want to stay on top of the search. So the search are always happening, and you constantly doing them. And I'm thinking about moving into the financial services, not financial services, but the role of a financial advisor. And it's a ton of search you gotta pass before you can even give yourself that title. That's why if you watch me, although I do the most of the job of a financial advisor, but I'm not that, right? The most thing I can call myself is not even a planner, but I do help people as far as money and personal finances are concerned. You got to be careful too if you don't have those certs.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I know you're saying it, and I'm actually humbled by your submission too as well. I know I've actually used the word as an advisor, so I apologize if I misrepresented your profession. But thank you so much for clarifying that note. I do have someone in the audience who mentioned, since you mentor, since you've been we talked about the mentorship and the importance of mentorship, and you have someone that you can go to actually seek for counsel, advice, and etc. Do you believe in having, do you believe in having a mentee or selecting a mentee? And also regarding a mentor, how do you select a mentor? Just for a little bit of clarification.
Sure. So as far as a mentee, right? What did they say? They said whenever the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right?
Right.
So when it comes to a mentee, in a way, they select you, right? Uh, they look at your professionalism, your history, and the things that you've been able to do, and they will naturally gravitate towards you and ask you the questions that they need to get asked. I don't think anybody ever goes to someone and say, "Hey, I want you to be my mentor," right? It it happens naturally by them looking at you, the results that you have. So as far as having a mentee, within my business, I used to do a lot of recruiting, and people who would come to me, and those things happen organically. Now, as far as me selecting a mentor, a lot of the things that I just said applies to that as well. I look at their lifestyle, right? The results that they have and how they go about their business as well. I do know in this industry, you come across a lot of people who have a ton of success in their in business, but then you find out their family home is in shambles, right? You go out with them, you see how they carry themselves, and you know that okay, he would be good for business, but I think long term because of his lifestyle, I don't know if I want to keep him. If I don't know if I want to be around him or her that long, right? So for me, when it comes to selecting, I look more into their personal life than it is business, because if somebody is not trustworthy, right, in their personal life, they're probably doing something shady in their business life as well. And in financial services, at some point, that is going to come up. And I mean, seen that in history so many times. Personal life and business life goes into the way that I select a mentor.
Awesome, awesome, beautiful. Thank you so much. I know the folks in the audience are enjoying your submissions. I'm enjoying your submission. You and I, we're friends, so I always like talking
Right.
to you. So thank you so much. I enjoy your submissions. Um, so I guess the next question, and then I would love to invite folks in the audience to come up if you want to come and join the party. If you have your own question you want to say directly from you to Samuel, please come up. Samuel is not shy. And I promise we're pretty friendly up here, so you can come and engage with us. So the next question, and I know Nancy has her hand up, so I'm bringing her up. Please come up if you want to be part of the conversation. Um, Ibu Bay, come up. Jay, come up. Guys, Mr. Rex, come up. Everybody, come up and engage. The next question I have for you, let me make Nancy a moderator, and you can keep bringing people up. Also, I made you a moderator, Ibu Bay and Samuel, so you guys can bring people up as you see fit. Let me read the question for you. So the next question, how do you incorporate personal development and self-reflection into your career? Like, is there times where you sit down and you reflect on things you feel like you could have done better?
Yes, absolutely. So personal development is an ongoing practice, and it's funny. So in 2009, I remember when I first started undergrad, um, I walked away from the church for a little bit, and I was reading a ton of books, right? And it's funny. I want to say about 2 years later, when I found my faith again, and I started picking up the Bible and reading. What I discovered is all these self-help books, they were really all principles of the Bible that people have just reinterpreted and added their own experience, right? So for me lately, my self-help book has been the Bible. I'm not even gonna lie. So so to answer your question, as far as incorporating that, it's an ongoing process. You do it every day. And what was the second part again?
How do you incorporate your self-reflection into your personal development?
Right. And so with self reflection, you do need some good people around you, especially if like some people that you trust who can call out certain things as they see fit, and they kind of help shape and direct you as far as personal development is concerned. And now when it comes to business, so in my business now, I do a lot of things alone. So I do have a buddy, Christ Warren, Cameroonian guy, young guy, very, very intelligent. We do piggyback from each other as far as things that he's doing in the business, and some books that he's reading as well. I do read the Bible a lot right now, but some things that he does, he may have read something in a book, and he was like, "Hey, check this video out," or read this section from. Recently, he sent me something from Dr. Peterson, from his book 12. What is it called? 12, 12, 12. I forgot the title. Something 12, and he sent me a section that he said I should that I ought to read, something about personal relationship with people and how to keep that going. So you always need that self reflection. And the challenge with that is, there's a saying. They said you can't see the picture if you're in the frame. So you will need people around you who see what you're doing from day to day to help correct and bring you back to course.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much. Do you have someone special that you attest your success to? That you
Uh,
feel like you work your butt off because this person has your back or either inspires you to be who you are today?
right. I want to say my grandma. She's super old now. I saw her the other day. I was like, "Hey, Abuna, you cannot even move your leg." So, growing up as a child in Kumasi, because my mom and dad were doing their thing, so she raised me until like I was 14 years old. And as a kid, she would always say these things, right? It's funny because whenever I would do something bad, she would say, "Hey, we are something in this side, right?" Meaning, "Hey, you're a sentiment. Don't." Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. So she would be like, "Hey, you're a sentiment. Don't do that, right?" And when I did something well, she'd be like, "Duh, you're an Ashanti man. That's what you do." So with her, it was constant um, positive reinforcement, and a lot of she spoke a lot of life into me, and I didn't know what she was doing at the time, but I think she was programming me uh, for what was to come. So as far as like my business and the things that I do, I want to say my grandma.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. So, if any special ladies out there and is interested in getting close to you, they need to make sure they're close with your grandma as well. That was just that was just a marketing tool I wanted to share out there. But anyways, it's been a pleasure asking you these questions, Samuel. I thank you. I know we have some few people here that would like to also engage with you and ask you some questions that they have thought about. So, guys, with that said, I will drop my mic and then you guys can jump in as you see fit to ask Samuel questions relating to his career goals and development. Thank you, Samuel.
Hey, I would like to ask a question. So my question is regards to the part of looking at people's social media and things like that to kind of gauge their character. Um, I've thought about doing that as well, like with vetting things, like with people like doctors and stuff that you may want to work with, or before you hire them, because I believe that people's personal bias can also determine how they treat you, right? So, like, if I wanted to hire a new physician or a new dentist or something like that, like, if I had the information, I'll look them up on social media and see if they have certain biases. Because even though they're supposed to leave their biases on the forefront, I mean, in the background, I don't think it's humanly impossible for people to do that. So I was wondering if you do that as well, or if you think that's a good practice. Um, yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna say it at this point. I don't care. So recently, I'm gonna talk about myself. Um, I see a lot of things that's going on in our country, especially, we all know what month it is with the LGBT stuff. And I've always stayed out of politics until, the whole vaccine thing. And I see what's going on as far as the reprogramming of children. And I am full fledged. I post stuff that goes against their beliefs, and that I've had people come and challenge me because they know where I stand when it comes to that. And so, as far as people biases and the likes, and in your case, I want to say like the doctors are they're in a tough spot, especially if they're seeing a patient who identifies, like, imagine a transgender woman, right, who doesn't have a uterus, and the doctor goes see them, and this transgender tells them, I'm having a miscarriage, right? That puts the doctor in a tough place as far as treating them. Do they treat the mind, or do they treat their biology? So with that being said, that that can be a bit challenging. There's certain things, right? I have certain morals and values, like certain lines that I wouldn't cross. And if I see that person's morals and values, right, no matter how great they are at their position, if I know it's going to conflict with mine, I would try to handle the business aspects of things if it's not gonna conflict. But in the case of doctors, like those things are going to conflict. So if what they do doesn't align with what I do, and I think there's going to be some conflict, I think probably giving them a chance until it gets to that point, where you may need to let them go because they may be going against the grain, or you may be going against the grain according to them. So I think if you're going to hire those doctors, let them know, right, as far as what lines can be crossed and what cannot be crossed, and making sure they don't blur the lines for you, because once they do that, then they will put you in a tough spot. Okay, yeah, because it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was thinking more so along the lines of like racial bias and stuff, or gender. Because I'm thinking, like, say for instance, someone is a physician, and they have a social media where they're constantly posting negative things about women or women of color, and I'm going to see them for an ailment. I feel like that type of doctor would probably be more likely to be one of those doctors that feel like, when black people can't experience pain, or they may be less empathetic towards you because they already have a bias, against you because of your race or your gender. Right. I'm with you. I wouldn't go at all. I wouldn't go at all. I mean, I saw I saw this thing on YouTube where the gentleman, lost his wife, and everybody who worked there happened to be white, right? And I think if you go there and they were sisters or they were black, that the interactions would have definitely been different. And it's the same when I work with Africans or Latinos. It's completely different because of their ability, right? I relate to them. I do understand what they're saying. And in your case, if that doctor is posting that, nah, take your money somewhere else, and your health. I completely agree with you. I am not going there. That person is not your friend.
I have a question, Samuel.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So there's someone here with me, a lady actually, and she said she's been listening to this. She said, "How my boss said I need to be more strategic. What do you think the boss means? The boss is a male. Is actually a guy.
What does this person do?
She she works in a tech company.
Okay, tech.
I think she does a good job actually. But she says the boss just keeps complaining that she needs to be more strategic.
Most
Do you?
it's I don't have enough information. I don't have enough intel, right, to make that to really, like, I mean, to understand what the boss mean by she needs to be more strategic, right? It's kind of it's just this is a loaded question. Meaning, I need some more context, right? It can mean a lot of things. Just saying the boss just saying be more strategic. I don't know. I don't have enough intel to deduce what the boss is trying to say.
Okay, okay.
If she's around, maybe is she around?
Sorry,
Is the lady around?
she doesn't want to talk. She's actually here, but it's
Why are you
okay.
shy?
It's okay.
Okay, no worries. We can always talk offline as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Samuel. Prince, Mr. Rex, do you guys have any questions for Samuel?
Yeah, okay. I've got a few questions for Samuel. Just wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to just serenade us with sprinkling of knowledge that you have. My question as a financial strategist is that is there a professional body that all financial strategists belong to? And if so, then what does that professional body do to help you stay on top of your game as a professional?
Yeah. So the financial body. So when it comes to finances is huge, right? It's so vast. You have the people who do strictly insurance, right? Which can be life insurance, even car insurance, right? And then you have the 401k, the retirement crew, and even within retirement, we have the individual retirement accounts, right? We have the RIAs and the likes. So the body that oversees is huge, and you have the investment part, you got the Wall Street. So as far as the governing bodies, we get it usually comes straight from the government, right? Congress. Right now, I think they're passing this. I believe they recently increased the age for 401k, and they also increasing how much income people can take as well. So as far as like the governing bodies for the financial sector in general, that comes strictly from the government. So whoever gets in power, right? That's why I recently started paying attention to politics, because whoever gets in power can really affect how you retire. For example, in 2008, with the crash of the market, where people lost close to about 40% of their income retirement, right? That happened under Obama's watch, and then there was the bailout piece. to basically help to restore what was what was to come. And before Obama, I believe it was Bush, right? Because of some choices that Bush and his administrations had made. So as far as the governing bodies, that comes directly from the government, and it trickles down as far as what different entities need to do to help the different departments and the people involved. What was the second piece again? I'm not sure if I answered your second question.
No, you answered my first question perfectly, and thank you very much for that. Just also as on a side piece, there is a gentleman in our audience who has fallen in love with the way that you speak, and I believe that he will reveal himself very soon. um, my my second question was that I've heard that you told us that you do most of the things yourself. So I just want to ask you, how do you manage to keep time in terms of time management and also organizing your office in terms of the tasks that you need to do first for the day, and that do you keep like a physical diary, or do you like wing it like the rest of us and say like whatever comes, can come? Yeah.
Right. I keep a calendar. I keep a calendar. And it's also the times that you wake up as well. So for me, I keep a calendar and I focus on the things that is going to make my bottom line. Right. I got to pay bills. As an entrepreneur, as somebody who runs a business, you wake up every day unemployed, as they like to say. So as far as the other things that comes to winging it, the first few, I want to say 3-4 hours of my day, I'm focusing on the activity that is going to help my bottom line to bring in the income. And as far as the emails that I answer to are, again, it's money focused, right? And there are other pieces that I have been able to outsource. Sometimes I get a friend to help me out, or there are times where I need to follow up with a client on the insurance side that I don't really want to do, and I would just employ one of my guys. And one of my friends has actually done well using VAs from the Philippines. That's something that I'm in the process of learning to see how I can help that, how I can use that to help scale my business. So for me, the focus when it comes to my calendar is always the activities that is going to help my bottom line. That's what I spend most of my time doing. Everything else, I can get to it later on, as far as like answering emails to things that's not really going to make me any money.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'm done. Mr. Prince, would you like to add anything?
Oh, thank you, my good friend Rex and Samuel, and our host, Rejoice. Well, I've not been on Clubhouse for a while, but again, it's a place. It's like a home to me. I come here once in a while to interact with brothers and sisters across the globe and professionals like you, and I'm consciously choosing the kind of rooms I get myself into. Rejoice's room is a small room, but we end up getting a lot of nuggets and values. Sometimes we give some as well. So I just came to listen and make a few comments on the question asked by, I think, Ebube. Yeah, without taking the role of Samuel, but by the way, I'm a lawyer, and we do a lot of thinking. So when people ask questions around strategic thinking, it usually rings a bell. I mean, because all we do is analyzing and thinking, and it's quite it connects with me because in my previous organization, before I started my own law firm, we used to joke about the term strategic thinking, and we used to pride ourselves in at the law firm as strategic thinkers. And that's why I decided to venture or risk this question, like where someone says you need to be strategic. Even though my question would be within the context of a professional in my field, but I mean, you might pick one or two things that may also apply in your own field, right? I'm a lawyer and we advise different companies in financial sector, in energy sector, irrigation, transport, name it. I mean, I'm a commercial lawyer by the way, so when we discuss or we share values here, it's not just you don't need to understand it from that legal perspective. You understand it that we've been able to be exposed to a whole lot of sectors, which is why we often say, in a way that people don't always understand, that we are learned and others are educated. Even me, I don't even understand how that applies in real sense, but what it simply means when lawyers say they are learned is we have the opportunity to know what is happening in other sectors, both in finance, I mean, name it, because a lawyer gets involved in different transactions, in different deals, in different, so it exposes him to knowledge that is peculiar to a particular sector. So applying that to the equation, when we talk about being strategic in a layman's view, I think giving a thought to your action, because I have juniors, I have younger ones in my office that I also mentor and I train them. I say, okay, when you're giving an assignment, you don't just have to be very linear in your thinking. Oh, this assignment requires ABC. I have to do it. You need to think about what the other person will be thinking. For instance, you are engaged in a deal that involves two sides. You need to think for the other side as well. How does the deal impact on the other side? If you're working on a deal, how does it impact on the environment? What are the things, are you giving out too much information? I mean, I just did a document before I joined this room, which I shared with a colleague of mine. And it's a document we needed to send to a client. And I asked my colleague, what do you have any inputs? He made a point that struck me. He said, I think we should just leave it the way you put it, because we don't want to give too much information to the clients. Just that. So that struck me because when in the process of advising a client or interacting with a client or a customer, and shooting yourself. For instance, if a client says, I need a proposal from you, you need to be strategic. In that, in giving that proposal, you should also think, what if this client doesn't return me? And he ends up running away with the ideas. Being strategic means you now have to be very generic in giving certain information. You don't have to like provide the solutions already at that point. That's being strategic. I mean, it can, like I say, what I'm saying can apply to different sectors. It doesn't require you to be in a particular profession. Uh, so that is more like a very generalized way of saying you need to be strategic. Just giving a thought to your action, giving a thought to whatever you are doing, not just be very casual. I mean, I see that in the younger professionals when they are asked to do something, they say, "Oh, this thing requires A, B, C, D steps." No, 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 no. You need to think through whatever you're doing. What be the implication of your action? Every step you take, how does it impact on another step? So that's and since we are talking about career development, I just thought it's important that we share that nugget. I do involve also in mentorship of younger professionals, so it's an area that interests me as well. Well, in terms of specific question to Samuel, I mean, you are in finance. My question would be, why do we find it difficult to engage in cross-border transaction, especially in the area of financial inflow to Africa? what are you guys in the financial sector doing to make cross-border transaction